Good evening, folks. Today we're going to be making a basic grilled chicken salad. For today, we are going to use 4 chicken breasts. I got 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And what I like to do is to trim my chicken breast, take off all the fat. When it's done, it should look like this. Nicely trimmed, all the fat and everything is off of it. So 4 chicken breasts. I normally would wash my chicken breasts, wash them with just some plain water, wash off all the excessive grime and gunk. And I use some basic white distilled vinegar. Once I'm satisfied that this is all nice and clean, I will lay them out on my cutting board. I have a oversized cutting board, you can see it. And then I'll lay them out. I have some pink Himalayan salt, and I will just grind just enough on the chicken breast. Once I have done that, season the chicken breast with black pepper just to cover it, just a sprinkle. You don't want to get too crazy with the black pepper. It's just enough to sprinkle it, and when it's done, it should look like this. So I don't know if you can see it clearly, but just enough, a sprinkle to make your chicken breast nice and tasty. So now we come over to the stove, and today I'm using a cast iron pan. I am just going to sprinkle just a little bit of my olive oil in the pan. Just enough to cover the pan, not to go crazy. Use my brush and just to brush the pan, just to get it going. Okay, so this is what the chicken breast should look like. Nicely seasoned, salt, black pepper, that's it. These are the rest of the ingredients. I have some avocados that I'm gonna use. Obviously, this is my favorite lettuce to use, is the iceberg. Some people like to use the romaine lettuce. I love the iceberg. I like the way it tastes. I always add my peppers just for color. It's a thing. I add some of my cherry tomatoes. You can use any variety of them. Yes, I like to add a little bit of color. You can just use red or whatever it's your choice. Always, 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 this is a staple. You have to have some Pecorino Romano cheese. That's just added ingredients. My lemon juice for my salad dressing. I make my own homemade dressing. I always use my pearls as an addition to the ingredients for the salad. Some people like to add different things, but for me, this is it. I love to use the cast iron pan because the cast iron pan cooked everything evenly. The entire pan gets heated up to the right temperature, and there's no uneven spots, so I like to cook with cast iron pans. So from here, what I'll do is I'll take my chicken breast and seasoning side I will put down. On that side, I'll take my salt and I will add some salt to the other side of the chicken. Just enough to coat it. You don't want to go too crazy. And a little bit of pepper, just enough to coat it, not too crazy. Now, while that is cooking, you might just get some spillage. I always keep a little rag handy just to clean my stove. I'm gonna get a little bit of butter just to coat the top of the chicken while it's cooking. If you're using a gas stove, try to use medium heat. Just keep your eye on the chicken. You wanna make sure that it's seared nicely, and once it's seared on the top, once it's seared, you can flip them over. I let it cook for about 3 to 5 minutes, let it sear, and then I flip them over. So now that's what it should look like. You can see the salt and the black pepper. So now while that is done, I will take a little bit of butter and I will place just a little bit of butter on the top of them, just for added flavor. If you don't want to use the butter, you don't have to, but I just like to. So for the salad dressing, some thyme leaves, some onion powder, garlic powder. I have my lemon juice here. If you like, you can add basil, olive oil, a little bit of salt. I usually don't measure, but for today, half a cup of olive oil, 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. Now, while that is being done, I'm gonna check on the chicken. I'll flip them over. And now I am going to lower the heat because they're browning nicely. I'll lower the heat so that the inside can cook. Once you lower the temperature, keep it on for another 5 to 7 minutes on each side. I will add 1 tablespoon of onion powder. I will add a tablespoon of garlic powder, maybe just a little bit short of a tablespoon of the garlic powder. I will add a little bit of my thyme, dry thyme, just about a tablespoon of the dry thyme leaves. Yeah, just about. A little bit of black pepper. Now we'll use a little bit of table salt, half a tablespoon of table salt. And then I'll use my food processor just to blend that up a little bit, not too crazy. For me, I don't use a lot of salt. But for some people, that could be a lot of salt. You want to taste it just to make sure that it's satisfactory as far as the sodium content. And that tastes pretty good. I'm satisfied with the sodium content for me. Some people may want to add a little bit more. Now, we're going to use our lettuce. Once I trim the lettuce, I will cut them up and then wash the lettuce. So I'll wash them nicely, and then the excess, I will just make sure that my board is good, because I will use the board to cut up the rest of the ingredients. I will use my peppers. I like to use different colors just because it adds a little bit of flair and color to your salad. So I have red, yellow, and orange. Almost like except for I was gonna say like a traffic light, but missing the green. And I make sure I wash off all my vegetables with soap. While that is happening, we're not forgetting our chicken in the background, because we wanna make sure that the chicken is not being overcooked or undercooked. I'll put that here. The second one is a little bigger. I will keep that on there. And then I'm gonna move another one to the pan here. I can actually put the third one in here. And what I'll do now is add my salt. Just to cover the chicken, you don't want to over salt, but it depends on your salt level. And then the black pepper just to season it up. While that is being done, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut out the hearts of the peppers. So my peppers, I'll cut them up in little strips again. I cut them at the base of each vein. Make sure I get rid of some of the seeds. You know, you're probably gonna be able to get a couple of the seeds in there, but you know, doesn't matter. Okay, so now back to our chicken. I raised the heat back up just because of the new ones. And I'll take out the one that was cooked before. I'll let that sit just so that can cook internally. And I have the new ones, I'll raise it back up to 7. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer the lettuce into a much bigger container. But for right now, let me just make sure that I flip my chicken. Now, once that's flipped, I'll put the fire back down on the Samsung induction, back down to 5. If you're using gas, you can put it back on lower heat. Or if you're using electric stove, 4 or 5. It doesn't really matter. I am going to add some black olives. If you don't like black olives, you don't have to use them. They're sliced. If you like, you can use whole olives, or you can add any variety of ingredients you want. Mine are just for color. Now, tomatoes. These are my faves. Like I said, you can add a variety of different things, make it fun. You can add carrots, you can add broccoli, you can add red onions if you like. Yes, and I will, I did buy a bag of croutons also. So what I do is I cook to order, just because I don't want the kids, and this has just been the way it's been in the house ever since the kids were little. I prefer to take orders from the kids, say, hey, what do you feel like eating tonight? Rather than just say, this is what we're gonna eat, and then they don't eat it and it's wasted. I know some people can't do that. I fortunately am able to take orders from the kids and just say, hey, what do you want to eat? And I will cook 3 or 4 different meals. You know what I enjoy about cooking? I enjoy the finished product. Like once the product is finished and then you put the meal on the table and you watch people enjoy your preparation, that's the biggest satisfaction. I really love that. I really, really enjoy watching people enjoy what you've made, you know? And that to me is like the biggest compliment of cooking. Now, I also love avocados. I don't know why. Avocados in every salad. I don't know, I just love avocados. And I'll cut my avocados. You want to get, you know, some fully ripe avocados. So for me, it's feel. I will feel them in the store. You don't want to get them soft. You want to get them medium. Like you want to feel them that they're ripe, but you don't want them mushy. Not right. Yeah. And then I'll just get a spoon and I'll scoop them out. Now, while different people do them differently, you can certainly peel the skin off the avocado. You can peel them in that fashion. I will show you a variation. Like you can definitely peel the avocado again, and once you peel them, you can just cut them up in slices. It's easy once you peel them, and then you can cut them up in whatever variety or variation that you want, and then add them to your salad. Or you can take a spoon and just scoop them right out. Whatever your preference is, that's what you do. For me, doesn't matter. You can't go wrong with avocados, scooping them out or doing anything with them. Now, while that is happening, you know, you want to keep an eye on your chicken, but again, you can just use your spoon and just scoop them out. It doesn't really matter how it comes out. It's all going in one place. Last chicken breast, and we bring that to the plate. And now I will transfer the salad to a little bigger of a bowl. So this is what it looks like. Much easier to work with. And avocados are on the bottom, so I'll stir them up, bring them to the top. I will take out some of the salad. This is my son's plate. Okay, so now I will add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I am going to add the chicken breasts. You can cut them up in whatever variation you like. I like to cut them this way. You can cut them how big or how small you prefer. I will add the chicken breast to his meal. So this is what it should look like. Then I will add I got some cheese and garlic croutons. I will add the croutons last, just because I don't want to get the croutons soggy. What I will do is I will now add a little bit of the salad dressing that I made. Again, if you don't want to make your salad dressing, you can buy any variation of your salad dressing. I will just sprinkle the salad dressing on the chicken. And then you add the croutons. You can add as many croutons as you like. And that's pretty much it. And that's his meal. And that ends our first episode of Cooking with Snow and Charming. Thank you again, and God bless. I can feel